Hey, this is Wheaza on a brand new YouTube channel, starting a new adventure of Cubic Odyssey, a new game that came out about 2 weeks ago, and it's published by Gaijin Entertainment. It's an open world adventure where a player explores vibrant planets, crafts tools, builds vehicles, takes on adverse quests, and basically fights a persistent evil called the Red Darkness. Cubic Odyssey starts right after a crash landing on a surface of a distant planet. You mine resources, refine materials, and build everything from tools and outposts to vehicles and starships. And you have access to free exploration of the galaxy. Without any further ado, let's get started on this new gameplay and create a new character and get going. So you start off like many games of this genre that you can pick some of your base skill boosts. So obviously, much like Minecraft, you are going to be mining quite a lot, and there's a lot of ores that you have to extract and everything else initially in the game. So one of the first options you have is the miner, which will obviously give you bonuses for mining speed and the chance to obtain more raw materials and such like that, which is obviously very good early on in the game. Moving on, you have the crafter option, because you're going to be crafting a lot of your own materials and such. You can certainly find them or buy them, but it really depends on the type of player you're going to be. If you're going to be primarily crafting your own materials, then this is a very good start to go with. The pilot is exactly what it is. It gives you a boost to your piloting skills while you're in space, more energy efficient spaceships and such like that. We will obviously be doing that. You can't get around it. It is one of the core dynamics of the game is space exploration. And it's actually a really, really cool concept of how they do it. And we'll get more to that later. The night option is actually pretty cool it's, in my opinion, kind of geared more towards late game, or I guess later in the game, because you are going to be fighting the Red Darkness quite a bit. The Red Darkness, once you harvest it and collect it, you can sell it, and it sells for quite a lot of money. So you can actually generate quite a lot of qubits, I believe that's what they're called, space cash, to start upgrading your ships, purchase better equipment, or whatever else. So if you want to actually run that route, that is a good route to go, with focusing more on the combat and less on some of the other stuff. But unfortunately, all of these things are tied in very, very close together. So it really depends on the type of gameplay you want to do. We're going to go with the miner, just start off as a basic character and everything else, and just choose a fun little mohawk, because, why not? And go with some basic hair color. Story tutorial, yes. So let's get started. Well, that looks remarkably like my last relationship. Okay, we are setting off. We are going to be going through the tutorial. There's going to be some parts of this that I'm just going to either fast forward through or basically not bore you to death. The game itself is very typical for starting off. You are told how to use the keyboard and all that other stuff. So let's just get going on this. In the top right, or excuse me, top left, you can see that you've got the typical setting off of directions and oh, there's already something that's coming after me. Okay, I guess not. So our main objective currently is to come in here and establish ourselves a little base. So our little friend here, he's QB1. He provides us quite a lot of assistance throughout our travels. So initially we start with nothing. We have a little bit of a band, or excuse me, we don't have anything. We're going to be requesting an extractor from him. So initially he's going to give you a couple little things here and there. I think an extractor, a workbench, and you can get the workbench at any time. So if you're ever out somewhere and you need to get something, you can just request the workbench at any time. You don't necessarily have to carry it with you, I don't believe. So other than that, everything else you're going to start crafting on your own. You can level up your equipment and everything else, but you can also level up your helper, QB. It's advantageous to do so. You can upgrade pretty much every aspect of this game, from your starship to your workbenches to all kinds of different things. So what we're currently doing now is just, you know, doing some basic harvesting, which is very typical of a game like this. Any survival type game. And I would categorize this as a mild survival type game too. You don't have to worry about food and water, but you do have to worry about your batteries and your energy. And that's very similar to, you know, call it, you know, your food and water is your energy intake. And as you progress and you upgrade your equipment, your energy usage is going to increase quite a bit. So thus, you know, you'll have to start crafting better and better batteries and such like that. So what we're doing now is just collecting a couple things just to kind of get started, because we're already kind of know what we need to do here. So where did QB go? Here we go. What we're doing is requesting a crafting bench so we can put that down and start actually crafting things so we can get moving with this game. So it's on hotbar 8. We can place it down and start crafting some items. So our first objective is to craft a bandage. I'll go ahead and get 2 of them and get those rolling. So as we did crash land, we should heal ourselves. Let me just go ahead and move this over here. I usually keep my bandages in the last slot, so quick reference and muscle memory. The awesome wood chest, so we can get some storage down. We can throw that down and start organizing ourselves a little bit better. So if you notice, obviously everything's built with cubes, but there's quite a lot of attention to detail with some of the visual aesthetics and such on how they created these things. So even though it's all cubic in shape and form factor, some of the graphic design on it and everything else is actually quite cool. Like some of the like for instance, the digital keypad and such on this is really cool how they actually put it all together. So all right, let's get a backpack too so we can start carrying more garbage. Excellent. And as you start progressing this, I currently have backpack 1. You'll be able to do backpack tier 2, tier 3, and so on, but you have to create it before you unlock the next blueprint. For instance, if I end up going to find backpack tier 2 or tier 3, either way, you have to build each one of them before you can progress. So if you find one, you're not going to be able to build it until you actually build the previous version of it. Let's go gather some dirt, because that's really what I've been waiting for this whole day. So I have done some gameplay on this, a couple different sessions actually. Setting up, you know, YouTube equipment and everything else is quite fun. If you're interested in becoming a content creator, I definitely recommend it. It's very cool. It's a lot of new experiences and a lot of, quite frankly, new skill sets that you'd learn. And patience is definitely the key, because there's been a couple things that I have fallen on my face several times, especially with setting up audio. So I've now come to discover that I am just not able to run my air conditioner in my environment and record at the same time. So I might have to be recording strictly at night whenever it's cooler. I live in Texas and it often gets swelteringly hot, so we're just gonna see how that goes. So what we're doing here is we're really needing to get some rock. Let's not get too far ahead of the tutorial. because it is, it's definitely going to guide us through what we need to do. So in true fashion, just like Minecraft, we need to gather some initial materials and such to start setting things in order and getting some things built. So let me just gather like a little bit more of this, and we can run back to our base and build our refinery. If I don't get stuck under my ship, I crash land on it and then I have it fall on me. So yeah, the developers of this game are actually, they've released a roadmap. Quite a few people or comments have been made that there's not going to be any updates to this game because this is a full release of the game. But that is actually not true. The developers have already signaled that they're going to... Oops. I'm trying to see if what we can do with double click, alt, and such like that. Alt click to see if we can move things into our inventory or not. And I'm not sure if that is a mechanic that's in the game. At least not yet. But anyway, so you can build your own spaceship and all kinds of different things. There's going to be quite a lot of updates coming in where you can build, for instance, landing pads and hangars and garages in your base, so you can, display all your spaceships and whatever else. And I'm not sure what the end result of that's going to be, but there's going to be quite a lot of expansion to this game, which is going to be really cool. So anyway, what's going on currently? We need to create some kind of fuel source. We can use wood. We can turn wood into coal, and eventually we can craft. What is this? What are they called? Energy cells. So we can use energy cells as a better form of fuel to process ores into ingots. So we can start crafting better and better equipment. Okay, let's build this. Let's throw some wood in here. Yeah, let's do that. And what was it? Processing dirt. Doesn't matter which dirt. As you can see, we've got a couple different kinds of dirt. But let's do these. This is going to provide us some clay. And while that's processing, I'm going to go run and get some more wood. We're going to need quite a bit of it whenever we start out, so we can start creating things and use it as a fuel source. What I'm going to do is mine quite a bit of wood here and start turning it into coal. So let me extract quite a bit of this, and I will be back momentarily. So we're back at base, and I've harvested quite a bit of wood to get us going with creating coal and such like that. We're also going to need some wood for general stuff, but as you can see on screen, there is a message that night is quickly approaching, and with that comes some interesting enemies. So space pirates and just aggressive fauna are definitely a thing of this game. So prepare yourself. And what we need to do kind of quickly is kind of close off some of this base area, which is going to take a little bit of time, and I'm not going to make you sit through that, but we'll be doing that shortly and getting things in order for that to get the base set up. So what we're doing real quick is splitting some of this so I can get some basic fuel started. Actually, hold on. I have some coal. What we'll do is process the rest of that clay real quick, and then throw let's do half the wood for now and make some more coal. So then we'll actually have a better fuel source. I'll go ahead and make all the coal. We won't use it all for fuel source at this moment, but we'll be using it for a couple of crafting items and such like that. So we'll be getting it on. So a fuel cell. We need to craft a fuel cell, which I believe takes some charcoal and some coal, or clay, excuse me, some coal and clay, which we have been crafting. So we can make 4. Went ahead and made 4 because you go through these. They're very crucial to make sure you have them on hand. If they run out, for instance, your flashlight will work at a diminished capacity, but some of the items you have will not work at all. So I believe your weapon will work, but it's going to be much weaker. But there's a couple things that just won't work. So as you can see, we are being attacked. So I just closed off, I think, the last of the easy entrance that someone can get in. If you can jump into a hole, so can the enemy. So keep that in mind whenever you are creating your base. So what I'm doing now is just getting a little staircase to get up here. Switch to the weapon. Should be around here somewhere. You can also hear them. They have this very strange guttural noise that they do. Oh, there he is. Let's just shoot him in the head through the window. Just like your favorite neighbors. Alrighty, dropped a battery. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Enemies often drop batteries as far as I can tell. Which is really nice because sometimes you're going to need them and you're not going to have the equipment or the resources on you to craft them. Of course, my inventory was full a moment ago and it still is. So what we're going to do real quick is throw some doors on this so we can get in and out real quick and have a better way of maneuvering our own base. Ah, really? Yes, my inventory is still full. So we've made it back to the base with quite a bit of sand and such, so we can go ahead and make some glass sheets. So let's see here. That's sand. Yep. Make some glass, and you actually can make quite a bit of glass pretty quick. So you don't need a vast amount of it whenever you first start, but it is okay to start creating some of these things that we know we're going to be using later. Because obviously you can expand your storage solutions and everything else and start taking more and more items with you. So I think that's enough for now. No sense in wasting coal on too much glass. So when I was out and about collecting sand, I found the seashell. The seashell is part of it's going to be a quest line that if you find NPCs and they're asking for certain materials, they're going to basically pay you to collect 10 seashells, 50 seashells, or whatever. And it's a good way of earning money early on. Okay, craft a scanner. All right, we got everything we need. Cool, now we can start scanning things. So if you've got enemies near you or you want to make sure that there are no dangerous creatures or whatever else, you can actually press the scanner button, which is Q, and it will actually show up with the little red marker. We've got signals on this planet. These are different habitats, and it basically shows you where you are in the galaxy. So it is quite large. And there's your home planet, where Princess Zelda still resides. And here's your ship, and the main, our initial main objective is repairing our ship and trying to get back to our home base. All right. So there was a meteor shower just a moment ago, which is actually a really cool thing that happens in this game. And when, oh, there's a marker for it. Perfect. So the meteor shower hit right over there, and it's much like whenever your ship crash landed, they actually destroy the landscape, and you can get some really quick materials from those sites. So let's go ahead and run over there and get some of that. It's a good way of getting some ore and other materials because they basically do all the mining for you. So they break all the rocks into small rocks. All right, here's some nice little materials and such like that. But that, ooh, looks like a big hole. Let's not drop down into this. One of my prior recordings of this game, actually, I did fall in this hole, and it took me a while to dig myself out of it. So, much like in Minecraft, never dig straight down. Build yourself a little staircase as you go. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt of being stuck somewhere. Or potentially digging yourself into a pile of lava. So, it's definitely a thing. So yeah, let's not cause any undue annoyance for ourselves. And build a little bridge here so we can get across and mine some of this ore here. Even still, it's going to be fun to get out of this hole. Not too bad though. Certainly not like it was earlier, because I fell straight to the very bottom, and there's a little bit more ore down there, but it's not worth going all the way down there just to dig yourself out, because this low-level ore is not actually that difficult to find early in the game. Okay, I'm going to head back to base before I go over to that meteor area and upgrade my crafting bench, because I think we can upgrade our extractor soon, which is an important thing because it's taking longer. There's a certain point when it feels like an eternity just to break through basic rock. So when we upgrade our extractor, we can get a faster device. So let's get this going so we can upgrade our crafting bench, which is going to take one more copper, and we got everything else. Excellent. This is going to unlock some new equipment we can do. Perfect. Let's get extractor 2. So I think we have enough to go ahead and build this. Extractor 1, extractor 2. Ferroglass lens takes sand. Perfect. Just takes one of the lenses, back, craft, and bam. We've got the tier 2 extractor. Yeah, as you can see, it takes more power to use. So it's something, again, to keep in mind. As you progress in your equipment, you need to also progress in your batteries. Okay, let's see. Do this as it tells us. Copper ingots. We need more of those. All right. One wire? Yes. Cool. Crafted drone scanner for our little friend here. Okay, so now that QB has his scanner, which is right here, once I crafted it, it automatically went into his inventory hole. So as I've been going along, we've found the coal, iron, aluminum, copper, and some tin. So once I find these materials, I can then ask my friend here to locate specific items. For instance, if we needed a level 3 item that we have not found, we can just tell him to scan for any tier 3 item, which is a really cool concept. It's a good way that they did this. So what I'm going to do real quick is go over to the meteor site where it crashed and collect that material, because it might actually provide us some other tier 2 materials, so we can go ahead and find them without having to have him randomly search for items, because whenever he searches for tier 2, it might end up coming up with 10 or something that we're not necessarily looking for at the moment. So let me go ahead and get rid of some of this inventory so we have some space, so we can start looking for some fun new items. Let's run over here to this meteor shower site. And get some materials. Whoa! That would have been fun. Just jump in that hole. Same hole I've been telling people to avoid. Okay. Where did the meteor strike happen? Oh, probably this big hole here. So as you can see, I just jumped in and I'm collecting all this mineral and material and stuff that was freed up whenever the meteor strike happened. And it exposes a lot of gems and such like that, which is great because you can just come in here and quickly get some stuff. And as you can see, I've just discovered silver, which is fantastic because that is a higher level tier 2 item, as you can see. So now I've discovered gold and silver. So now if we're looking for that, we can just tell QB to search for that specific material. Okay, and here's your stellar advice on batteries and the different tier levels of batteries. As things get more and more complex, the batteries will also need to be increased in their complexity, in their tier level. And there is no fall damage in this, as you can tell, as I just throw myself into a hole, which, you know, is much like my real life. I don't often throw myself in a hole, but I'm very much known for being a clumsy type person and falling into one. So let's see. Let's get up there because there's something pink glowing up there and I don't know what that is. Let's go find out. I don't know what that is. Oh, radium ore. That's interesting. Oh, so radium ore is a tier 4 item. So that obviously came in with the meteor strike. So that's actually pretty cool. We're already progressing with that pretty well. So we're going to continue on with the main objectives with the tutorial and try to get this going quicker. I'm sorry, as I said, okay, just have him scan for any ore. Okay, so one of the first objectives we had was to find gold. Luckily, we just did find that without having to search for it, since the meteor uncovered it for us. So we can go in here real quick and go ahead and have the gold ore turned into ingots and get this initial quest done. All right, we're moving along at a good little pace here. Okay, we can craft a weapon for our friend here, which is great. So where's the stone? Okay, we need to craft his stun stick, and to do that we need to use stone to get some ironstone powder. Awesome, got it. Bam. So now QB has a weapon, so he can basically come to our defense and such. Obviously he's not super, you know, well equipped or whatever else, but it is nice that you at least have a couple more shots being fired against enemies. So we're now going to be crafting the armory bench so we can start creating our own weapons and upgrade them. So let's get a couple wires, a couple mirrors. I often push the wrong button. Silver ingots. I guess I have not upgraded any silver ingots yet. Luckily, we've got some right there. Let's see, and some connectors, which is going to take some silicon. Okay, that's one item that we have not located yet, is silicon. So what we can do is ask QB to find a tier 2 item. And there it is. So it looks like it's pretty much below our base. So what we can do is use our base as not only protection, but also as kind of a makeshift. Get some space opened up so we can run down here. And hopefully, this is the material we're looking for, the silicon. And no, it is not. So let's try that again, buddy. And one thing I neglected to do just a minute ago is I also have a scanner. So I will show you what that looks like in just a moment. Okay, that's more silver, it looks like. So I'm going to press Q, and you see these little squares here. Those are other materials. He can scan for specific stuff. I can just scan for nodes. And whenever you are using your scanner, keep in mind it is absolutely sapping your battery. Okay, buddy. Can we find something that I need? Please and thank you. Let's just say this is going to be silicon. No, more tin. Excellent. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so his battery actually automatically recharges, which is nice. It takes a moment for him to recharge his battery. So if you're in a quick hurry, don't be. Are you better, buddy? Okay. Oh, wow, that's way down there. Oh, this is not farther than what I've already gone. Oh, no, it actually is. And I have just done what I told myself not to do. Jump into a big hole. Not the end of the world. Luckily, it's quite easy to build a staircase out of someplace. And luckily, whenever you're collecting all this stuff, you are obviously picking up more rock that you can use for a foundation. If there's anything around me. Doesn't look like it. Okay. Let's build ourselves out of here. And the interesting thing is that, like, there's a certain point when everything looks the same when you're down there. So, hopefully you're not too claustrophobic if you play this game. Because it all looks the same. So hopefully this round we can find some silicon so we can move forward. Come on, dude. Ultimately, like I said, with the next video, we're going to progress and get past this initial tutorial area and start actually playing more of the exciting part of the game. Let's try that one more time, maybe? Buddy? Can I get something good? Now, obviously, I don't have to keep running back up here to ask him to search for stuff. I just keep doing it because I clearly like pain. Gold. Can we try this one more time, bud? Kind of help us out? No. Perfect. There it is. Thank you for taking just the right amount of time to find that for us. On my initial playthrough, silicon was actually really easy for me to find. It was the gold that I had a problem with, which is funny because now I've found more gold than I can know what to do with at this point. So let's go ahead and run in here and work on getting this armory bench done. Okay, cool. Get the connector done. Silicon ingot. I'll pick that up. Actually, I did. It says silicon ingot. Don't I have several of these? Oh my god. Yeah, it's right there. Okay, that was weird. Not really sure. Obviously, that was a user error, which I get used to. Okay, I needed one connector. And now I can make the armory bench. This took a little bit longer than it should have. But whatever. So now we can start, yes, exactly. Create a jetpack so we can get out of space a little bit easier. Tight spaces, I should say. So let's see. We've got a jetpack. Oh, we can also do a better backpack, which is great. We'll be doing that in short order as well. One more connector, more wiring. We can do that easily. We need some leaves for this. Cool. We can make that. Awesome. Sweet. I am one of those players that tend to hoard a lot of this stuff because it's just, you know, kind of makes sense to keep it because you never know when you're going to need it. So that jetpack. So it's nice whenever I end up getting like that, and then whenever I have to craft a lot of stuff, I have the majority of what I'm needing. So we need to do the suit upgrade. Yes, perfect. That is now done. So we now have all of our slots currently filled. So these are the slots that are going to be upgrading as you go, all the way up to, I believe, currently tier 7 for these items. And as you can see, I've created the backpack 1, scanner 1, jetpack 1, and suit 1. So now tier 2s are currently available. So I don't think I have anywhere near enough to do this currently. Yeah, I need a lot more silicon for the bigger backpack, which I do want the bigger backpack sooner than later because it comes with 25 inventory slots. Now, tier 1 plus comes with 20 inventory slots. So it's like, you know, what is better to use and to create? So at this point, quite frankly, I don't even know how to make, yeah, we can make this. It might be beneficial at the moment to go ahead and create this. It's kind of like diminishing return at this point, but at least we can get a bigger backpack for, see, it's just opened up significantly more space, 10 more slots, which is going to help us with our initial onset a lot more. So that is a great thing. All right, here's the speeder. So this is actually where we're going to start our next episode. We're going to be repairing our speeder, which is much like in Star Wars, if you're familiar with the storyline. It is a land speeder, and I've never driven one. It looks like it's a lot of fun, and that's what we're going to be setting off for on our next adventure and our next episode. So we're going to go look for that and start repairing our ship and start getting all those things in order and looking for the local townsfolk to see if we can start getting some money earned so we can start upgrading even faster. So whenever we do get to space, we'll actually have some things going for us. So until then, the usual diatribe of a like and subscribe, and also let me know what your thoughts are on this game. If you've played it, if you're wanting to play it, if you have any issues with your current gameplay, I'd like to know, because building a community around this game I think would be quite exciting because it is multiplayer and it is going to be destined for quite an expansive multiplayer as far as I can tell. So until then, I hope you've enjoyed the content, and we'll see you next time.